all over the country, the activists, the civil rights, the struggling parents, the families, the teachers, the students that are realizing that a system built to divide, impoverish, and destroy us cannot stand if we do it. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics.
If you hear me, could you feel me, could you free me? Wonder if I made a difference or made a difference. Bump that, we are the difference. We ain't got no code to decipher. Brother, I would never call you trife. You my brother, though they knife and fork our meals, then cop the silly feels. Yep, it's slimy, kinda grimy, miscalculated the timing. But you can't plagiarize something in disguise and think we have no eyes to see something real as we. This is seriously who we be. See, this here is true indeed, the real deal, thoroughbred, like collard greens and cornbread. Can't recite what's never said, purpose keeps us fed. Real man, this is grand A, hope fed. But still, you are my brother, above you there's no other. Blood or something other, more like what the blood covers. Man, no matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making, helping others to break through. Without breaking, without breaking, without breaking, without breaking. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
It's Thursday, so you know what that means.
It's Brother Empowerment Day.
Yeah, so if this is your first time watching, Brother Empowerment is not one of those bashing shows. But it is an opportunity for us to engage in healthy dialogue and hope that something that we say will help brothers and their families to break through without breaking. So before we get into our special guest, bro, how was your week?
Oh man, this week has been pretty interesting, man. So my allergies have been on 1,000. So my boo got me some Mucinex.
Go ahead.
So I've been taking that, and I will say that I've never taken Mucinex before, and it's been really working, man. So I'm gonna say that. So definitely that.
You're a little snotty.
Well, yeah, my sinus. I have seasonal allergies, and so my sinuses get really, really clogged up and really bad during probably from March till about June.
January, December.
No, March till about June, basically spring. So whenever the pollen's out, I got problems. But outside of that, man, it's been a great week. So we've been spending time with you guys and my nieces.
Us?
Yeah.
Us? Little us, the Garnett?
Yeah. So we've been staying active with the workouts. And also today was Throwback Thursday. So I put up a post for Uncle Marcus because he had showed me a picture of a previous picture. If you know anything about Uncle Marcus, he don't take many pictures. He's taking more pictures.
He do take pictures. He just don't post them.
Okay, he takes pictures more now than he used to, but he really didn't take pictures back then. So he showed me a picture that when I was super little, when he lived across the street from my grandmother, rest her soul. And so I had to put that up and do a little, do a little post for Uncle, man, just because, I haven't done a throwback post in a while. So this week has been good. This week has been really great. How about you, bro?
You want to talk about that head?
Yeah. You know what?
Head, when you were a kid, the same size it is now.
That's how your week is? So you chose violence today? You just chose violence today. Huh?
That is my favorite. That's going to be my new favorite picture. Don't be surprised if that you're going to pop up on Brother Empowerment.
Why, Jay?
What are you put it out there now? See, that's the problem. See, you be putting stuff out publicly and get mad because I celebrate it. I celebrate you, brother. You're amazing. And that head. It was. But my week was okay. My week was okay. I've been doing some real brainstorming because, we're at a critical place and we got to figure out how we're going to do certain things with Love is a Parable. And it's kind of frustrating when you start in a business and there's no blueprint.
Yep.
And you have mentors or advisors, but they don't know how to manage your particular thing because it is different. So I've been a little frustrated, but I did get an epiphany. I realized that we have a lot of encouragers and cheerleaders, but very few supporters. So now we got to figure out how to leverage. We don't want our cheerleaders to go anywhere, but we do have to leverage and find out where do we get our supporters, because supporters are resourceful and help expand our mission and vision, and we need more of that.
Yep.
So we're probably going to talk about that a little bit. Let me see. My baby Leilani did her EOGs today. So she do the math next week. So we're pretty excited about that. Okay. I was glad to see you people. And I was glad to see Bishop Rashia. It was great to see her as well. So yeah, I'm excited about tonight for several reasons, but I'm gonna let them introduce themselves first. Y'all gonna introduce yourselves so I can tell these people why I'm excited. Introduce yourself, people. Go.
I am Bianca Brown.
Yay!
I am Jeremy's sister.
She said it.
I don't like those titles, but yes, from Augusta, Georgia, and yeah, here to help out with brother empowerment.
Yep, and my name's Tramell Brown. I go by Mello. Jeremy is my brother.
They doing it. They nervous.
Yeah, he's my brother. I like to introduce myself as a person in long-term recovery. What that means to me is that I don't use any drugs or alcohol to change my mind or my mood, and I haven't been in jail or a hospital since September 6th of 2016. So that for myself is the way I like to identify myself, just because of the negative stigma that comes along with substance use, and I want to break those barriers.
Okay, bro, you gonna say who we got on?
Yes, so out in YouTube land, we got Sean. What's up,
brother
Sean? Man? So we also got.
You gonna click it? I thought you was gonna click it.
I was moving, but
he was like, go.
So we also got Rashia, aka She-Hulk, aka my boo. Hey,
his boo. Hey, his boo.
So we also got everyone's uncle, the neighborhood uncle, Marcus himself. Uncle Marcus, what's up, man?
What's going on,
So we also got the Beard, aka Ricky, and he started already. He started already. It started already. For real, Ricky? See, this is the other person who chooses violence right when they step onto a scene. As soon as they step in the door, they click the switch. Violence, yep. So we also got Chanel. Chanel is on. What's up, Chanel? We got Misha. What's going on, Misha?
Hey, Miss Misha.
Who just came out with some fire pictures. Oh, man. Those pictures were amazing, Misha, for real. So she said she here for all of this. I don't know what all this violence. Yeah. We got Kiara's on. What's up, Kiara?
That's our baby sister.
That's baby sister right there.
Hey, sis.
You know what? Yeah, that's right, babe. They just.
Next comment. We got Deshaun on.
We got Deshaun. We got Deshaun on.
We got someone more.
And we got Adrian. What's up, Adrian? And then we have Ahmed is in the building. What's up, Ahmed, Mr. Iconic?
What's going on? So yeah, guys, I'm so excited to have my little brother on because I am so proud of him, and I'm proud of my sister. Now, you know what makes it also great? She's a Scorpio too.
And is.
Yeah, and she's dramatic as well. So it's perfect.
Very much. You got that right.
So we ain't no telling what's about to happen. Kiara talk about, hey, y'all. Why this thing ain't working? Oh, there you go. Hey, y'all. Okay. So first we're going to go over a few statistics. Y'all ready? Oh, my Aunt Chris is on.
Hey, Aunt Chris.
Hey, Aunt Chris. Aunt Chris is on. Al is watching. Adrian is watching. What's going on? Yep.
We said Adrian.
Adrian just commented.
Yeah.
She commented earlier?
Mm-hmm. Well, go down towards the bottom. There you go.
Oh,
I for a reason though.
Yeah, he's amazing. So let's get into some statistics. Y'all ready? Researchers have found that 1 in 6 men have experienced sexual abuse or assault, whether in childhood or as adults. 1 in 3 women or 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. Top 5 fears for men: body image, money, height, other men, and being inexperienced. My people representing
the percent
of men aged 20 and over with obesity. 40.5. Why are you hating?
I just say,
Come on, my
say
people.
it like that, man.
They are my people. I fit in there. I'm morbidly obese. Greg, dang, I'm trying to do something about it, but I am morbidly obese. It's black male 41 morbidly obese. That's what it says. See, men die by suicide 3.53 times more often than women. The peak age for death by suicide is actually 45 to 49, but men die by suicide age 50 and under 45 at the same rate, though. 1 in 71 men have been raped or suffered an attempt in their lifetime. Men receive 63% longer sentences on average than women do. Women are twice as likely to avoid incarceration if convicted. Any thoughts?
Shouldn't be different for a woman. Rape is rape. If it's not, wanted, it's still a violation, regardless of the gender of the person, the predator.
Right. Yeah, but there's that thing with sexism.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. You know what I mean?
It does.
So, Mel, you got anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of times, and that's why I'm so appreciative of this platform here, that men don't have a lot of opportunity to speak about some of those things if they did happen to them. So I think once that gate is open, I think we'll come to find out that it happens more so than we think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I definitely agree because that's only what's reported. So you can imagine what's not reported.
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get into some of these topics. How do you feel about the NC House bill that removes the critical race theory from the curriculum?
Let me choose my words carefully. I do not like it. I do not agree with it. I think that is a huge problem in our country, is the lack of education from the past. What they're being taught in their homes, and they think it's right because it comes from, their own parents and stuff. So to have a curriculum to outline it, I think that's exactly what we need. And to, try to go against it, that just shows exactly where Georgia is.
Don't be talking about my home state. Look, Tron on over there, he's talking about that height.
Oh, what's up, Tron?
And I guess obesity too. What you got, Mel?
I feel like in order to be a part of the solution, man, we have to figure out what the problem is, and then we have to see like the root of what this the systemic racism that exists in this country, where it came from. And I think and I think that the attempt to remove it from the curriculum just really shows like how much control the higher ups are really into really suppressing the knowledge. Mm-hmm. And exposing some of the negative things, the negative consequences of those actions. So I feel like it's a terrible idea. I feel like everybody needs to know, not just us as Black people, but I feel like all races. Everybody needs to know exactly where we're coming from, so there won't be any confusion when people stand up and say that Black Lives Matter. It won't be any confusion. You won't have to throw in like all lives matter. Yes, we do realize that. But when you talk about the suppression of Black people, I think that needs to be exposed in order to break it.
All lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Yeah, I go back and forth about this only because in theory I don't like it, but in theory I also realize that there are poor representation of DEI movements that are out there that are causing more harm than good. Because when we start talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we are talking about a key component, which is culture. We're not just talking about Black and white. Yes, whiteness is an issue. Race relations is an issue among Black and white, but race relations is an issue among whites and several others. And also race is an issue among other non-whites and other non-white like Hispanic and blacks. There's an issue there. There's an assumption that certain things are assumed, but certain things are not dealt with. And we struggle still with understanding the difference between race relations and cultural diversity.
Yep.
And not realizing that even within races, there is culture,
yep.
and you can poorly represent an entire race by not appreciating or attempting to devalue their cultures. Like, we get it all the time. Like, we just did a workshop on diversity language, not realizing that language is directly linked to culture. Mm-hmm. So before you get on social media trying to correct somebody, that may be the proper way to communicate in their culture.
Right.
But because you're not culturally fluid or culturally agile, you're sitting there trying to correct someone, not realizing that now you are pushing the wrong agenda, because now you're becoming a cultural imperialist.
Mm-hmm.
And not realizing that you are part of the problem and you can be oppressive in your lack of understanding. So I feel like if we're going to remove critical race theory, I do think that they need to do a better job of incorporating something along the lines of cultural fluency. And I know the person who did this comment, who's actually very versed in DEI, that's Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually doing some great things in the spiritual or the religious realm, because cultural diversity is needed in the churches, in the synagogues, in the mosques as well, but people don't want to talk about that.
How do you feel about introducing some cultural education inside of adolescence and high school ages? Because I didn't experience any type of cultural education, I guess if you want to call it, until I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already know that, and it's like, and people make assumptions too, like they already know who you are and know everything about you, and they don't. But yeah, growing up, they did a horrible job not really teaching us about a lot of things in history. I think Ricky might be saying something similar. We need to teach true history of our country. We can't move forward in breaking down these systemic barriers as long as we are willfully teaching alternate versions of history.
Yeah.
And that's what I agree with. That's exactly what I agree with. Like, somebody got mad at me because I was like, I don't care if you knock down the Confederate. Don't knock that. Matter of fact, I said, don't knock down the Confederate statue. Put the Black History statue up and put the Indigenous people history up, so you can say, yeah, this was wrong, but they killed them people over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They need to have that whole history, and you have people who don't even know anything about their lineage. Because why? Because a lot of that stuff was taken.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was taken, and like, one of the most offensive things when people say do like your genealogy or all of that. Well, it's proven a history in America. You can only go back so far because blacks didn't have birth certificates,
right,
or death certificates.
Yep.
For many, they were treated as animals, so they weren't even considered human. That's why they didn't see the need for having death or birth certificates.
Yep. No, absolutely.
So that's why I was thinking about it, because I just did a research on my family. It only goes back but so far.
Yep.
And if there was any type of rape or any type of, at that time, what they call mixed racing, they didn't say that. Like, because my great-great-grandmother, she is believed to be the daughter of a white doctor, but guess what? She didn't have no last name.
Wow.
That's what they do. But they're not ready to have a full lesson on history. Our history in the school system are suppressed. So we didn't learn much. However, as parents, we should be teaching our children not to rely on the school systems.
Yeah, my cultural diversity education didn't come from books or really in school at all. It came from being a military kid and being in other parts of the world and really being immersed around different cultures in a social setting and learning that way. You know, so I didn't really have, Tramell, like you said, I didn't really have that in school either. You know, with being around the world, I learned more about other cultures than I probably could in any book. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That is one good thing about the military. And I think the only difference is like the high school that Mel and I went to at the time, it was like odd to just be one race, because everybody was mixed with something. They're like, I'm Panamanian, I'm Korean, like I'm Japanese. You're like, what? What are you mixed with, black? I'm kind of a girl, so that's all I got.
I can agree with that comment though, because it does. Like, I'm a firm believer it starts in the home. To me, racism is a taught behavior. That's not, you don't just one day be like, I don't like these people because of the color of their skin, or I don't like that person. It's a top behavior. So yeah, I'm a firm believer it does start in the home, and we should not rely on the schools. But at the same time, we need the schools on the same page as us, because at the end of the day, when school is in, our kids spend more time with those teachers than they do with us. So we need everybody to be, on the same page, playing the same game, because no matter what we do at home, when they get away from us and they're under that influence and other agendas are being pushed on them from teachers, then we can start to get the pushback at home too. So I think it's important to have it in the schools, just so that everything you're doing at home doesn't, leave them.
It'd be a little, it will get reinforced in school. Like, yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying.
But I think a lot of people don't understand too. They may not directly teach something. Like a lot of people say, well, we don't teach them to hate, or we don't teach this. But the omission of something can leave one to draw their own conclusions. Like if you don't ever have any black people around, the child will say, oh, well, I guess I can't play with black people. Not that mommy or daddy said it. It's just that there's no black people around. Or if you don't ever buy them black dolls and you say, oh, isn't this doll pretty? Now you're telling them, well, this doll must not be pretty. It may not have been your intention, but that's how behaviors are learned. And it's also have been proven that when race is introduced to white people, it's only introduced in the case of something bad happening, or it's a teachable moment about race, which means they did something wrong. And they don't have those conversations about race because most blacks don't know their ethnicity. And so black became a culture, and it's bigger than just race. Culture, black is a lifestyle too. And a lot of people can't identify with that, so they don't know how to even teach blackness. Let me see. Sean said, I think a culture education would be much better than a critical theory. Critical theory means more than just race to a lot of people. Critical theory has roots in communist thinking. Thinkers renamed it. Okay. Hold on. Why did it messing up? Okay, Norris said, I don't know why it's messing up, but look, it ain't doing it. But anyway, Norris said home is where it's taught and school is where it's reinforced. Okay, there you go. And then Misha said, however, I believe school systems should incorporate culture because we live in a world where we're all different and come from different backgrounds. This will prepare our children to navigate in a world.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
Hey, sis.
Hey.
This time.
I know.
Then she's gonna come back and say, oh, hey, brother. Yeah, so I do think that there's a lot of unpacking and there's a great opportunity there that people have yet to kind of talk about, but let's go on to the next one. Any update on Ice Cube and our reparations?
Nope. Nope, none of that. Haven't seen or heard from Mr. O'Shea Jackson at all since Donald Trump was not reelected.
Well, the problem I do have with that too, though, is that all that man was trying to do was get a seat at the table. And we are quick to judge people, and we're not even trying to get a seat at the table to impact change. So the one thing I can commend him on is at least he talked to somebody, and it takes a lot to talk to someone who is not well received or liked to get your point across. And like doing the work that we do, sometimes we got to sit at tables with individuals we don't agree with for the greater good. But what we tend to do is judge a person based off of we don't like if some of the people be like, I don't like that person, so I don't want to hear nothing they have to say. Because at the end of the day, you can feel how you want to feel about Donald Trump, but he still was America's president. He's going to go down in history as America's president. He still did influence change. He still made an impact, whether you agree with it or not. He's still a president. And I think that people don't understand that part about a lot of things. When you don't vote for someone, the voted official comes into place, and that voted official is respected in that position. So you're non-voting or you're complaining, but you're not in meetings and you're not sitting at tables, mean absolutely nothing because you're not initiating change. So the one thing that I can respect Ice Cube on is at least he tried to do something. Who's trying to do something now? I ain't seen nobody really trying to do nothing because they feel like we good now. Trump is out of office. That's what they feel like. Trump is out of office, and we got the first woman of color as the vice president, and Biden appears to be an advocate and an ally for the BIPOC community.
And all that's good and great, but the damage is still done.
The damage been done. That's why that's another part of the critical race theory does address, because it talk about foundational elements. And a lot of people are not ready to talk about foundational elements because they get caught in the nuances of things. The same way they get caught up in the nuances of, I don't like the president, why would Ice Cube talk to them? Well, somebody got to go to the table. If nobody wants to be represented, who's going to represent?
Right. Makes sense.
And moving on. How people see the worst, bad, indifferent in everyone and want to check it, but don't want to reciprocate it in themselves. Woo.
Where'd that topic come from?
Woo.
I don't know who put that out there, actually.
Hypocrites. That's what it's talking about.
I don't know who actually put it out there specifically, but
ooh,
but that topic actually could have been from a couple of weeks ago, actually.
It don't matter who gonna answer it. Well, don't be trying to buy time. I'm gonna go to these comments and y'all gonna respond. At least he wrote his ideas down, unlike most people who just complain to the internet. That's my brother. We as a Black community have to respect ourselves and love us before we can demand respect. The rule I teach my kids.
I agree.
Okay. Y'all ain't got nothing to say? Yeah, it's called a hypocrite.
Yeah, first, bro.
Why are you waiting on me to tackle? I tackle the other one.
Man, I always go first.
Oh, so we just lying now. Oh, this is about you.
I'll answer it. It's because a lot of people don't know what humble pie tastes like. A lot of people are not, humble enough to be able to call it out in themselves. But a lot of times when you're pointing that finger at somebody for certain things, it's because you see it in yourself and you don't like it, but you don't know how to change it. So instead, you lash out at other people doing the same thing to see how they're going to change it.
Yeah, I think it's irresponsible. It's easier to say, oh, look at them, or what about them, than to focus on you. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people don't realize it's actually easier to be truthful than try to hide it. So like if I'm a messed up individual, I know that you messed up individual because it takes one to know one. Be like, I'm trying to tell you. And then they be like, well, what about you? I know I'm messed up. That's what I'm telling you, you messed up. So I think that people need to have those conversations more. And everybody want to be everybody teacher. But nobody want to be the student.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that, bro. We have a lot of folks who want to be like undercover or like social media gurus on personality, behavior, interactions, and relationships. But it's one of the things where it's like, some people saying this stuff. There's some for every person saying that, or almost every person saying it, there's someone who knows them who was like, really? You saying that? Oh no. So I think like Jay said, I think it's definitely easier for people to focus on other people than themselves, because that takes a lot of courage and being transparent. I was talking about somebody about this just earlier today. Being transparent, especially when it comes to talking about yourself with other people, is very hard for some folks because they may not have ever been transparent with themselves their whole lives.
And I'm gonna say this: 2 things can be true at one time. It actually started me and my sister-in-law. We had this conversation. 2 things can be true, and neither thing omits the other thing.
Right. So
you can be a messed up individual. I can be a messed up individual. It don't change the fact that you messed up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the other part that people also, this is what I hate that people do a lot of. Just because you discover something that is true about a person, it doesn't replace the good things that you still experience. If that was somebody you laugh with, like we were just talking about, I got a few friends that are just lie boxes. I mean, you talk to them, everything they say is probably a lie. But they're good people. They just lie. I don't know why they lie. They lie so good they don't even know that they lying. But guess what? That don't stop the fact that I still enjoy being around them. I just don't trust what come out their mouth. Two things can be true. That's a little lie box, but they fun to be around. I ain't gonna tell them nothing. Well, I could tell them I see because you won't know if it's true or not. And they got amazing personalities. Like little lie boxes got amazing personality. It's just like crackhead friends. Your crackhead friends, you don't invite them over because they'll steal, but you meet them on the block, you're gonna have a good time and you're gonna talk for at least 30 minutes to an hour about something. Two things can be true, and I think that people don't understand it. And so what happens is once you find out something about a person, you try to erase the good memories. That's too much work. You try to erase the great times that you had. No, you can still have those great moments. It don't change. But you want to see that because we're too busy being hypocrites. Our largest bias is towards ourselves. Come on, Bishop. We give ourselves excuses and passes because we have more data on our decision making process and intentions. Oh, he coming in a Hyundai. It's always easier to call out others where they fall short. Pun intended upon not intended. But people tend to shy away from reciprocating it because it would imply that they aren't perfect. They don't want to put in the real work to fix those bad things. Woo! Princess Noor came in and she said, I think it's important to teach our children about self-reflection. Come on, somebody. And having a conversation within themselves. Come on, somebody. About how to strive for self-improvement. Come on. Instead of just constantly criticizing them, which then in turn teaches them to do the same. Oh, it's a word coming forth. Did you say?
Yeah. You know, it reminds me of the saying that people will be a judge for other people's faults or actions, but a lawyer for their own. And I think that saying is like really dope because
say it one more time.
People will be a judge for other people's actions, but a lawyer for their own.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a good one.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh man, I love that one. And it's really, really true. Like people will, sit down and litigate and, try to rationalize everything that they do. But with someone else, it's cut and dry. Like, well, you're not even gonna talk about none of the nuances. Nope. Nope. Is this?
I'm going to read that what Misha said. Come from the late Bishop.
DMX said, a liar will lie and a thief will steal. Let them be who they are. Just be smart to recognize it. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my mama said one that's it. And now this is one I always stick to. Mama said, if you let people be people, you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
And that's what I always say. If you expect people to be people, I was like, Mama, that's a good one.
Yeah. Trust people to be themselves.
Yeah, trust people to be people. We need to be better at having quality relationships where we can ask people about our faults and we hear the critiques. We need to process them. I don't know what that meant, but
it might have been a typo.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was trying to figure out.
I like that. Feedback is a gift, Ricky. So yeah, you can't grow or get any better if you don't critique self or have an outsider looking in that you trust to give you that advice. Where maybe you might be slacking or it doesn't always feel good to hear it. But feedback is definitely a gift. I agree with that.
And I give it to you for free. You ain't got to ask for it.
I know.
But the funny thing is, most of my friends are like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to ask for feedback. They'll give it to you. They'll be like, that's jacked up, right? Like, I just had a conversation with a friend about mistreating their older children with their younger children. Mm-hmm. And they get mad at me, but I be like, I'll call you tomorrow. I had a friend that was like, call me and was like, I'm moving, so I'm going to have to call you back. Well, why you told me to call you if you moving? Mm-hmm. Well, I wasn't going to think you was going to call me anyway because you inconsistent. I said, no, that ain't right because you inconsistent too. You better be glad that I even tried it. He was like, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? when you have a relationship with people, they can call out your faults, but they can build you up at the same time. And like that's what I love about quality relationships. Feedback and gaslighting are two different things. And you a gaslighter. You fire Marshall Bill. Let me see. Reflection is key. Self-reflection is key. I agree. That's why with Love is a Parable, that's probably the biggest thing that we do. We tell them that we do a reflective thinking approach along with the sacred box theory, because you'll be surprised. Like the statement says, I think, therefore I am. A lot of people are not thinking, so therefore they don't know who they are. A lot of people are not thinking about some of the things that they say. Like there's so many self-deprivating and self-degrading mantras out there, and people are using them every day. And they wonder why things are happening the way that they're happening, but you're professing things in your life. You're professing those things that happen, and you're wondering why you're coming up short is because you keep saying it.
Manifesting.
Right. And so it's still working the same way. And it's so funny. We believe in karma, but we don't believe that karma works in a positive way. Yep. We only believe it works in a negative way. So we don't believe that karma is a law of attraction, but it is a law of attraction. It is one of manifesting. It is what the Christian people believe, the law and spiritual law of sowing and reaping. It's all of those things. So if you sit there and say, I'm not perfect, guess what? Nothing is going to be perfect that you do. You sit there and call somebody your other half, you're gonna always have a broken relationship. And you don't think about that time, oh, that's my half over there, that's my better half. Oh, so if you the contaminated half, why are you with that person? You see what I'm saying? People don't think about that stuff. Oh, I don't love who I am, but I'm love who I'm becoming. Well, you'll never love you. Because you'll never love you, because that becoming is always going to change. When are you going to love you now? You can't fix something without accepting who you are.
I agree, bro.
That's these people with that I ain't a racist. Well, maybe you are a racist and don't want to be one.
Yeah.
We got deal with the racism part first.
I think it takes a certain level of courage, man, to take a look at yourself. A lot of people don't possess that quality. I believe that they do. They're just not tapping into it. Very uncomfortable to take a look at yourself and admit when you were wrong. Very, very uncomfortable. And then to have to do that and share that vulnerability with somebody else is difficult too. So I think we need to get brave, man. Time to be brave.
Right. Kerwin is on. Hey, Superman.
What's up, Kerwin, man?
And I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but you know he was locked up yesterday. Man. And I ain't even say nothing. I ain't even fuss. See, that's the thing. Because I know what you're doing. I understand the work that you're doing.
But then he had the pictures with the handcuffs on.
And I'm mad at those pictures.
I'm like, man, I'm like, you all fashionable stuff with that. How did it even happen? Who? I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask.
The video was there. I saw the video. And I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna just wait tomorrow to fuss at dinner. Love you, bro. Minute. Words have so much power is what Rashida said. And she said, choose wisely. Tasha done came out here. She said,
hey, Tasha.
Be careful of the words you speak. I feel like she said it like that. I don't even know how she said it. Be careful of the words you speak. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Come on.
When you talk, you say stuff, it's like putting something on the internet.
Shut up, Misha.
You can't take it back.
Right. I don't know what you're talking about. I know, right? But Van said, this is amazing. When will you love you?
What's up, Van, man?
What's going on, Rick?
What's up, Rick?
Look. Yes, I'm going to fuss tomorrow. Love you, though. But I think that we got to take some time and realize before you can even have a conversation with other people, think about the conversations you're having with yourself. Think about the things that you're saying to yourself. If you say you can't do nothing right, or I'm always messing up, or people like, I'm just clumsy, and I'm this, and I'm that, that's what you're professing in your life. You're going to always break things. Things are going to always be broken. Things are going to always happen if you keep speaking that into your life. That's why my favorite word in the scriptures is salah. It means to pause and think. That's a nice way. That's a righteous way of just saying, shut up and think about what you're saying. or think about what's happening before you speak. But what we do, we say a lot of things and we try to apologize. Apologies still don't take out the profession. Apology is nothing but an acknowledgement, but those words that you profess are still out there. Mm-hmm. The biggest lie that they said was sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is a lie from the pits of hell. Words hurt way worse because sticks and stones, your body can heal from those bruises, but words never heal from.
Yeah, they can break you down and you can't take them back.
Right.
Just like stuff on the internet.
Look at us getting through these. Let's get to another one. Should you live together prior to marriage? Ooh.
Yep.
Team shacking.
I mean, is that including the engagement, or is that just period, or is that just like?
Well, I'm old school. I'm just gonna say no.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like this in today's world, and you know our story, Jeremy. So of course you know I was probably gonna speak on this one.
Why she disrespect me?
I would hate to, go through a relationship with somebody feeling like that I really know them and love them, to only live with them after I'm married to find out there's somebody completely different. I don't feel like you really truly know a person, or if you can actually make it work lifetime with a person without knowing their living habits. How do you know that you can live with them?
I think that's part of the marriage. I think we cheapen marriage when we do that. Like, I think there is certain things you're not supposed to know. The whole point of courting is to woo you. You're supposed to be impressed with everything. You're supposed to see the ugly side when you're married, but the investment is, this is how we change together. When you try to do all of that in a time frame, the thing about what people don't realize, when you don't make a formal commitment, it's easier for you to walk away. Mm-hmm. When you're in a marriage, you be like, do I want to pay this $1,200, this $1,500? Do I want to spend this time to break up? Like, are they really getting on my nerves that much? But people who just chat, they be like, I'm leaving, I'm done. Think about it. It's so easy for people in relationships to call it quit when they're not married. Whereas when you married, you spend a lot of time thinking about, do I really want to do all of this? And a lot of people
do stuff. One day you wake up and realize that you love them, but you're not in love with them because you didn't get to learn this aspect of them. Because to me, living with somebody, it's a whole nother person. Mm-hmm. You see the good, bad, the ugly, of course, the courting, the wooing and all that. But my thing is, I need to know, like, he might not abuse me. Or he doesn't abuse me, period. But I'm just, saying in general, he
bet not.
If someone's going to be abusive or not, they aren't going to abuse you in public. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, of course, that's a red flag, run away. But you might not know, what's going to happen behind them closed doors once you get behind them. So I just feel that, maybe even, I know there's a lot of taboo around it. Shouldn't live together, shouldn't have sex, all this good stuff. I just feel that I think you should live with a person for at least 30 days before you marry them. At least.
Yeah. I need a warranty on that. I think it needs a warranty.
I think it also, you got to think about what are your intentions in this relationship when you first get together. Like, are we looking to build? Is that something that we want to discuss? And I think that the oath of marriage is a sacred thing, and you're speaking to the people who you love in God, and you vow to be with this person. But I feel like that loyalty is there before you get married. So living together, will either like you show up or show out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what.
So if that's the case, why not just get married then? See, I'm an all or nothing type guy, so everybody knows this about me. Like, I'm not in between. I'm like, either I want to be with you, or I don't. Mm-hmm. And if I want to be with you enough to live with you, I might as well want to be with you for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I think that we need to stop. We talk about people being strong and being mature and all of that. If you so big and bad, go on and make the decision then. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Stop playing with people's feelings and emotions. Half of us knew that the relationship wasn't going to work anyway, but guess what happened? We ended up doing a relationship because of societal pressures. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Because the truth of the matter is, you already know if you want somebody in your life or not. I don't want to hear nothing about I ain't know and all. Yes, you did. Because as soon as something happened, you be like, something told me. Mm-hmm. If you want to be with the person, be with the person. Ain't gotta be no trial. Ain't gotta be none of that. And stop trying to impress people because nobody married to that person but you anyway.
I agree. I see it from both viewpoints, and I actually have my previous relationship. We actually did live together for a couple of years because I thought that's where it was going to go. We were going to get married. I've only done it once, and so I see it from both sides. I do think that you can see a lot. I think you can see a lot of the things that people say they need to see just from spending time with each other in your individual residences. Like you can see if someone is nasty when you go to their staff, when you go to their residence. You can see if they're nasty. You can go in their bathroom and see. You can see all that without having to live with somebody. So I see it from both sides. I get why people, and I've been told by some older people that you do need to live together. These people have been married for 40 and 50 years. Like, yeah.
Did they do it?
Yeah.
And they've been married 50 and 40 years?
I mean, they were married, I think it was like 40 years, but yeah, excuse me.
Did they shack before they got married?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's uncommon.
Yeah. So it was my mom and dad's realtor for the house they have in Durham.
It's not her business.
No, I'm just saying that
Sorry, Miss Realtor.
we were all, I ain't gonna say her name, but we were all having lunch, and I was in my previous relationship at the time, and she asked me if I was single. I said no. She asked me to live together. She said, yeah, before you get married, you need to live together. She said that out of her mouth without me asking her. That was unsolicited, advice. So I have seen it from both sides, and I see the point, but I don't think that you need to do that to see certain things because, and like Jay said, your gut instinct tells you things and you choose to ignore it if you want to.
Because a lot of us are married to the streets, and I ain't talking about out here hoeing and all of that. But a lot of us are doing things for clout and not doing things for ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of us, it's so funny because I shacked with one of my ex-girlfriends, but did I marry her? Nope. Mm-hmm. And we was together 3 years. We lived together for 3 years.
Same here. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, but the funny thing is when I saw my wife on September 25th, 2007, the first thing I said was, that's my wife. Mm-hmm. I tried to marry her as quick as possible. If I could have found an apartment and got everything up first and paid for the wedding, would have got married sooner. Mm-hmm. But it didn't take me forever to realize that. But the girl that I was with, I even told her, like, you're a great girlfriend. Nothing is wrong with you. I just don't see forever with you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know how to have those conversations. And my Aunt Chris said this. No, you shouldn't live together. She said that's called shacking, old school, period.
Yeah.
She said period.
Yep. She just said it.
Period.
Yeah. So, I mean, I see it from both sides. And I get it. I just don't think you have to. I don't think it's necessary. But if you want to do it, then people are always going to do what they want to do. But I don't think it's necessary.
Let me see what my baby says. Oh, Misha said, yeah. Oh, Kimberly Dixon said, you better speak blessings over your life, but we often speak curses over ourselves. See? Mm-hmm. Misha said, yeah. Nor said, no. Kiara said, I didn't, but I wish I would have. If we're being honest.
Be transparent. I was love that. Yeah.
And Ricky said, from experience, no. Misha said, I agree. We don't know what she agreed with. Kiara said, that's it. That's all. And Ricky said, no one is the same person before and after the marriage commitment. You have to learn them twice. Facts. Let me see what I'm getting myself into. Rashid said, really?
That's right. Trial period. Look.
30 days.
So my great point. North say preach. I don't know what you're talking about there. Amen. So yeah. The truth of the matter is each his own. Mm-hmm. And you do what you feel that is best for you, but at the end of the day, you're accountable for that.
Yep, exactly.
Every decision that you make, you're accountable for. But I would say this: trust your instinct.
Yep, exactly.
Trust your instinct. Trust your gut. Don't be listening. No, I don't care how valuable a person may be in your life. You gotta trust, because I don't know. Me and my wife talk about it all the time. If I would have waited, like if we would have moved in together, we got waited. Who knows? But here's the other part that people don't think about. The time wasted can be invested in your relationship. Yeah. 3 years trying to figure it out and you married them on the 4th year, that can be 4 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Why are these things important? Because if you slip up and have a child, depending on the state that you're in, you still don't have rights, even if you are living in the house. Mm-hmm. Other things people don't think about, if you with somebody for 8 years and you marry them for 2 years and you die, they don't get a right to any of your things because you got to be together for 10 years. You messing up stuff. See, marriage is bigger than just that love part and that compatibility part. It is an investment and it's security.
Yep.
So if anything happens to me now, my wife at least will get something. Mm-hmm. Not only will she get the life insurance, but she also will get Social Security, my Social Security, because we'll be together 13 years this year. A lot of people are missing it, and you're not realizing it. So you can shack for 20 years
and not get nothing.
Yep. And then you got these kids with different last names, and y'all ain't even think about that. The kids be going there, and the kids be asking, no, kids be like, why your mama last name this, and that's your last name. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's your real daddy. Yeah. We go through all of that, and y'all are not thinking about that because we being selfish. Yeah. We being selfish, and and a lot of times you're just trying to please everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yep. Do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Be accountable for your decision.
And on another note,
does monogamy really exist? Yeah, it exists. It exists with us. It exists in nature. Now, what I will say is that people are all up in other people's relationships and their marriages and don't know what's going on inside those relationships and those marriages. You don't know what kind of arrangement that those people, those parties involved have. People talking about he's running around cheating, this and that. You don't know what those people have going on. You don't know what they have decided between the two of them. You know, there was an NBA player, Andre Karolinko. His wife said he can step out one time a year and she ain't gonna say nothing. She said one time a year he can step out and she don't consider cheating. He's gonna do what he's gonna do, and that's it. That was their arrangement in their marriage, and they still together, if I'm not mistaken. So, and people who see him doing whatever be like, "Oh man, he dogging your wife out." He like, "Sir, man, like you don't have any idea what we got going on at home. Mind your business, please." You know what I mean? So I would say that yes, monogamy does really exist,
and that's why we need to educate ourselves because a lot of people don't understand. You think just because first of all, we are attractive people. You ain't got to sleep with people just to be attracted to them. That don't make you a cheater either. Right. Y'all crazy. You honestly think people are walking around here like, who want to be married to an ugly person?
They say all the time, who wants somebody that nobody else wants?
Right. Who wants somebody that nobody else wants? Do you honestly think my wife want to wake up and look at something disgusting at 2:00 in the morning and scare the hell out of her? She don't want that. Do you honestly think I want to be married to somebody that don't look great?
Right.
With clothes on, clothes off, look great in pictures, compliment me in both senses of the word? Y'all crazy. And do you also think that somebody can't look at another person like, oh, they real beautiful, they fine?
Yeah.
That don't mean you want to jump their bones. The reason why people jump and do the things that they do is because you're suppressing who you naturally are. Mm-hmm. If a beautiful person walked by, my wife and I both say, oh, they beautiful.
Yep. And going about your day.
And keep it moving. Yep. Mm-hmm. Y'all getting caught up in the most simplest things, and we talking about educating ourselves. Y'all ain't even educating yourself on you. You don't even know you. That's why when somebody show you attention, because you don't even know if you fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody showing you attention, you like, oh, I gotta give them some. Mm-hmm. Why you just? If my kids are so arrogant, it's so funny. They'll tell you like, you telling their kids, they're like, why you tell me I'm pretty all the time? Because we've been telling them since they came in this world, you gorgeous. There's nobody better than you. You fly, you dress, you do this, and even on your worst day, when you feeling bad, your mom and daddy fly. So you fly like default. We be about the wrong stuff. I thought Aunt Chris said something. Rick said, live long enough with my significant other. Oh, significant other.
Signature other, I like that.
Signature other or significant other. That's signature other? Okay.
I think he meant significant, but it might
make it sound like a nice liquor. I live long enough with top shelf to be recognized as common law marriage. Looking back, definitely should have lived separately first. Definitely learning experience. I put the cart before the horse. And also common law is going away in several states. They bring it back.
They never left, Chanel. They never left.
They never left.
I'm about to say, they never left.
Bill Gates had a whole girlfriend that he would take a trip with annually.
Yeah, you just you know,
my average at best.
I mean, yeah, people just don't know. And that's why when people start talking about, you know, being polyamorous and stuff like that, there's people that confuse polyamorous with being polygamous. They're just people that don't know certain things. And again, they're just up in people's relationships, looking in and saying, and they only are talking about what they see, and they don't know the discussions that are taking place behind closed doors between the parties involved. So again, that question is really funny to me because it's like, what do you mean? Does it really exist?
Like the song say, if you spend 6 months tending to your own business,
yep,
and half of you not minding somebody else's business, that's a whole year you done stayed out somebody's business.
Yep.
Sweep around your own front door before you sweep around mine.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, but the other thing is, let's be honest too. A lot of it is jealousy. You want the lifestyle that you condemn. That's where a lot of that stuff come from. Like when people be telling people, put clothes on, don't do this. You just mad because you don't have that confidence to be out there.
Yeah.
Stop trying to police people based off of insecurities.
Yep. No, that's really big, especially when it comes to celebrities. People, I wouldn't do that. Why they letting people do this and that? You know, you're not in their lifestyle. Like Jay said, you jealous. Like some of these people live their lives and they're who they are unapologetically, and they have the resource to do whatever they want to do whenever they wake up every day. And some people are like, I wish I had that.
You're right. You and your little private Facebook and your 238 friends talking about what you won't do. Why don't you try to make your stuff public and see how you adjust to that first before you judge somebody who got their entire life on stage? Who? Oh, it's almost time, bro. I was about to get in there running my mouth. Hey guys, we got to move that out of the way. I was like, dog, I can't believe it's that time already. So guys, it's Positive Brother Shout Out time. This is an opportunity where you recognize people who are men who are making positive contributions in your community that normally don't get recognized. So who you got? Look, Bianca thinking, look at her. Look at her.
I'd like to recognize Ricky. Ricky Leverett.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
Yep, he has.
Yeah,
he's been on the show. He's an amazing person. He's going to be performing for Juneteenth too.
He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot, and I love watching him do it. I see it all around town, and he's got a lot of people, you know, following him, and he's got good platforms. And
his throne is everywhere. He be taking that throne everywhere to take a picture. Who be dragging the throne in the middle of the street for him?
Yeah,
he be getting volunteers.
It's collapsible or something because he be everywhere with that throne taking a picture. Yeah, he's a good one. Good job. Who you got, Mello?
What's the gentleman's name who we met today?
DeAndre.
DeAndre is a minister here locally. Here he works as an engineer at the airport out here. Got 6 sons and about and then inclusive in his family, I think it's about 13 of them. But he actually took some time out to come hang out with us for a little bit because I'm trying to engage my son, my 14-year-old son, into activities outside of the home. And I work a lot, not making excuses, but sometimes kids are a little bit more receptive when it comes from somebody outside of the home. And one of the tough lessons that we're learning as we grow in our marriage and being parents, that sometimes you have to ask for help. And I just want to shout that brother out because he came, he didn't know us from anything, took my son in, took care of him, and we plan on continuing and growing in that relationship as well.
Teach them about entrepreneurship.
So I want to shout my man out. I really appreciate that. It wasn't easy as a father to reach out for that help because, you know, as a dad, you kind of want to be that one who's showing them the way. But if they're able to hear it from somebody else and still get the same results, I'm willing to do that. So shout out to my man.
Look at you, and you sound like that. That's funny.
No, that's what's up. Shout out DeAndre for real, man. That's really dope.
Pastor DeAndre.
Excuse me, Pastor DeAndre. Excuse me.
And he got a tribe.
Yeah.
13 kids.
It's a bunch of them. It was a bunch of them.
6.
Yeah, that just makes my blood pressure rise. Even thinking about that many, just I don't have any.
He would have to spend 2 weeks spending time with each kid. Like, imagine kids like that. I just want to spend time with you. Oh, that's a whole nother job. Shout out to you, Pastor.
Yeah, for real. That's a lot. That's a lot.
You created a little city.
Man, like that's close to a practice squad on a football team.
Whew.
You got starting five. You got starting five and relief.
Man.
And a water boy.
Equipment manager.
Where that? Okay, your turn. Go, bro.
Oh, so
that gave me inside. I didn't think about all those kids running around.
Bro, really?
Shout out to him. He doing it.
No, so definitely want to shout out to brother Jay, man. Just because, man, like we really come a long way, and man, I'm really excited for just what's gonna happen when outside opens. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that want to see us, but I know that we're also gonna be doing some big things, man. So
I don't want to smell that stink. I don't want to smell y'all stinky breath. Nope.
So I just want to shout you out, man, because it's been a wonderful journey, man. I cannot wait to see really just what happens next, man. I definitely also want to shout out Uncle Marcus, of course. I did my post today earlier, but I really want to shout out Uncle Marcus.
Birdman.
Just because he is really just a dope he's just a dope individual, man. So, and I love you, man. So he's a neighborhood uncle, and he's really an elder. He earned that title.
He disrespectful.
Yeah, he is slightly.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but he really earned that title, man. And I also want to shout out Devan Small. He is a really, really dope brother. He has a company called D&J Lawn Care, I believe. Services, excuse me.
Lawn
Care Services. My bad, man. But he came by on several occasions, took care of my yard, and that brother knows what he's doing when it comes to yard work. He's a really solid brother. So, yeah. Outside of that, man, I just want to give a shout out to all the brothers who are helping sharpen other brothers. That's y'all are positive brothers, man, and that's really what we need to help heal our community. So, yeah.
Well, good job. Well, I'm gonna give a shout out to my widow brother that's been on the show today. Yes,
Word, Mello,
LaMelo,
yeah,
Mel.
Appreciate
He used to be DJ Scooby.
It's funny how life you can transform you into different people.
And that's why he wear the hat with the brim brand. That's old school, Mel, man.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah,
yeah. But I've always talked about because it's so funny. Like I talk about the story of Dad and all of that because when Mel came into my life, man, he just turned 15 and I met him at 17. Then I turned 18. The whole time that I went through the homeless thing and everything, It was his dad that took me in, even though Mel was like my first son. Because I registered him for school as I was registering myself. Me and him lived off of McDonald's and Po Folks.
Yeah, Po Folks. Shout out Po Folks.
It was everything, man. And it's like, I never thought that I would go from being the youngest in my family to the oldest in another family. And then I didn't know that my little brother would bring me a father because I've always wanted a father. And I ended up getting one in the most unconventional way. And so I'm so grateful for Mel and his progress and his growth. There have been some scary moments, but look at him now. He's here doing a great job. And I've always been proud of him. And that was a funny thing. I've never told him I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I've always told him I was proud of him and the things that he could do and accomplish. And seeing him with Bianca, who's my new widow sister-in-law, yes, she is. Me and her can talk literally for like hours. So I'm glad that he found a mate that will complement him, but will also help him achieve his goals. But also is honest enough to realize where there's still opportunity for growth. I think that's very important in transparency. So Mel, I'm so proud of you. And of course, Mike, who's doing his own thing too, who's doing amazing stuff with his DJ and taking it to the next level. And it's amazing how he didn't have rhythm, but he has rhythm now and all of that stuff. It's just amazing.
God, I was thinking the same thing. No rhythm. He was drum major in the band and all kinds.
He went from rhythmless nation to being a drum major. I'm like, how is this even possible? And he got a little swag. So definitely him, but then my older brothers, Daryl, Rodney, and Vincent, but then the brothers that have just been given, like Ricky, who I swear is my brother, Ricky, Ahmed, who do we talk to all the time? Kerwin, who I'm gonna fuss at tomorrow, and Ishai, Alex, Rick, all of you guys, and Elijah. The list goes on and on of all of these amazing men that I have in my life. And it's just an honor to call you brothers. But most importantly, you, man. Word. I remember when you didn't have hair and you were skinny. Now you're a whole incredible Hulk. It's like, it's amazing the things that you have become and done. I'm just saying. It's an honor to have a superhero among us.
I thought I was gonna get away with it. I thought I was gonna get away from
No.
Every show, I was gonna say every show.
I was like, we good.
But I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the decisions that you're making. I'm so proud of the health choices that you're doing. I'm so proud of the way that you're living your life. I'm so proud of your growth. And I'm so proud that we're doing this. And I thank you. You probably the dopest friend I didn't even know that I would get. And I'm glad that we're doing this together, man. I really do appreciate you and I love you.
Love you too, man.
So, but everybody else, like we tell every week, if you feel that there is nobody else in this world that love you and care about you, you just met 4 people that do. So make sure you tune in next week. Mel and Bianca, y'all stay on. Everybody else, we'll see y'all next week.
Love y'all.
No matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making of brothers to break through.